Hello, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to Stories with Sapphire Live. I'm Sapphire Sandalo. This is the live stream I do every Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. I read your emails and your stories, and then at the very end, I pull a card from the Wild Mystic Oracle deck, or whatever deck I feel like pulling from. Hi, everyone. Hello, Alberto, HL, Kat, OWO, Bomblitz, Aaliyah Watson, Sasha Johnson, Noah Clifford, Big Boy Joe, October Among Us, Adam Lombardo, Ryu, Crybaby Pacific, Her, did I say Your Mom, AJ, Ebony Burgess, Tatiana L, Cloves Place, Maxie Shine. Welcome to the stream. All right, so got some stories for you here. Let's pull out our first one. This is from Adam. Hello, Sapphire. I have always loved your podcasts and have been listening to them since the Something Scary era. And recently I've experienced a story that I could add. I'd like to preface by saying that I have Native American ancestry and that this reminds me of creatures that sound like a story from my grandmother. Thank you for reading. Okay. I wake up pretty early, around 5 in the morning, only because I have to let my dogs out of their kennel to use the bathroom. In our house are 4 dogs, 2 young labs who sleep in the kennel, an older lab, and a little dog rat hybrid, one of those shaggy little dogs. Both the older lab and the little dog sleep in my parents' room. But this weekend, when both my parents on a business thing were gone, they slept in my little brother's room. I was left to take care of the dogs. In the house for the weekend was my little brother and I. On Saturday morning, I woke up at 5 to the sound of the 11-month-old puppies whining to be free to go outside. I got out of bed and went to the living room to grant their wish. While I was working on getting the latches open, I heard a deep, loud growl, like a dog's growl that had been put through a deep voice filter. I jumped a little and turned to see if one of the old dogs had come out of my brother's room, but I only saw the empty living room and kitchen. The puppies were freaking out, whining and howling to be let out. I brushed the sound off as me being half asleep and paranoid. I started again at undoing the kennel latches, and again, I heard the loud growl. This time I ignored it and finally let the dogs out of their kennel. My brother's dog always bolts out of the kennel and jumps around like a little Olympic athlete, but this time he walked slowly and carefully, head down and eyes up. My dog stayed in the kennel, eyes locked on the same spot that the others were. I turned slowly, ready to see what was behind me. Still, I saw nothing. The kitchen was empty. The dog's eyes were still locked on one spot. They stared into the open kitchen from the living room. The only boundary from the living room to the kitchen is a kitchen island. Just as the dogs stared, the sink's motion detector caught something, and water rushed from the head. My heart dropped, and the puppies began to bark. I finally saw it. A gaunt figure tall enough to touch the ceiling. Its eyes were glowing red rings in the dark void of its eye sockets. It wore the head and skin of some kind of dog or wolf. The skin was twisted and looked as though it was a poorly strewn costume. I began to yell at this figure as loud and stern as I could. I told it to leave and get away. Finally, I blinked. and nothing. The large apparition was gone. The water was still running in the sink and the dogs were still barking. After a few moments to collect myself, I went to check on my brother and the old dogs who were now barking in them in response to the puppies. My brother was still half asleep. Afterwards, I let the dogs outside. I went out with them, knife in hand. The dog immediately ran to the fence and started to bark, and I saw again 2 red rings floating several feet above the fence. Then it again disappeared. I yelled at the dogs to come back inside, and we all rushed back into the house. I called my dad, who told me to lock the doors and windows, and to have a lighter and hairspray to use as a weapon if I see it again, and to wait until the sun came up to try and let the dogs out again. Once it did, I let the dogs outside, and again, I went with them, still on the phone with my dad, my brother standing at the door. I looked over the fence to see if I could find the beast, and I saw a large, gangly dog, or coyote, stalking across the small field behind our house. Its eyes locked on me, those little red rings. My question is, what did the thing want? And what was it really? Thank you again, Sapphire, for reading. Ooh, spooky. Chat, what do you think it is? Let's see. Adam, sounds like my old neighbor. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, growling, usually not a good sign. It's always creepy when dogs are reacting to something, because again, like dogs and babies for me is what's really creepy, because they can, like, they're like, you know that there's something there, or you know that they're reacting to something, you know? I don't know. All right, next story we got. This one, no, not that one. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to pick which one I want to do. This one. All right, here we go. Hello, Sapphire. I would just like to say I've been watching your videos for 7 years. You have been a huge inspiration, and you made me become obsessed with the paranormal at such a young age, and I love you for that. Thank you. My name is Jade, and this is my story. Ever since I was little, maybe 5 or 6, I would see a little boy. This boy would look to be about 1 or 2 years old. He looked doll-like and very bony and skinny for a baby. He would peer around corners, and I would see him in my dreams. Every time I would tell someone about him, they would say I had a wild imagination. I would mostly see him around the house, but when he did appear in my dreams, it would seem normal, but I would see him in the background. He would never talk or move. He would just stand there, like how he would act in real life. I never stopped seeing him. Fast forward 6 years, I am 11 years old. My mom announced that she was pregnant. I was over the moon. When my little brother was born, he looked just like my mom and dad's kid. But the day he turned 2 years old, he looked exactly like the boy I was seeing, but less ghost-like. He wasn't bony or skinny. He was chubby. He wasn't doll-like at all. It's been 3 years, and I still don't know what to think. I haven't seen the boy since he was born. I don't know what the boy wanted, but I do know that it was not my brother. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I hear a lot of stories about people seeing like a kid or a baby before they're born. You know? Maybe you saw maybe you saw the kid's soul or spirit beforehand. I'm not sure. Interesting. Laverne Samante, Ate Sapphire, where did you get your LED light? Amazon. It's like $20. Super easy setup. All right, next story we have. This is called A Dream I Had. I don't know why I had this dream, but I have had others like it. It's like I'm seeing through other people's eyes when this happens. This one really scared me. I will be referring the person as me, so that way it will be easier to write. I was walking in the woods with some of my friends. We were looking for a lake my friend had mentioned. She was always looking for something to do. We had been walking for hours at this point. I asked if we could take a break for a minute so my feet could rest. My other friend had agreed with me, so we took a short break. We eventually made it to the lake and jumped in. I noticed something off about the water. I guess I made a face because my friend said that she had been in water just like this and that it was fine. We continued to swim, but I couldn't shake the feeling. That's when my body started to hurt. It was agonizing. My friend asked me what was wrong. I told him my body was hurting badly. He helped me out of the water and set me down. At this point, I was crying. It hurt to move. My friend had a scared look on his face. I looked down and saw that my body was covered in scratches and blood. He called for our other friend to come and help while he called for help. I blacked out, and the last thing I saw was me being put in the ambulance. Then I woke up in a cold sweat. If you know what this means, please let me know. Whoa, that's like very, very vivid. Very interesting. So when you dream as other people, you might actually be like tapping into the memory of someone, like maybe like a spirit's memory. Maybe you're tapping into a past life. Like there's so many different things like it could be. But yeah, whenever you feel like you're not yourself in a dream, it's usually because you are like traveling astrally, something like that. All right. Our next story. Sorry, y'all. All right, this one's called My Ghost Story. It's from Esmeralda. Hi, my name is Esmeralda Anaya, and I'm 16, and these are my ghost stories from when I was about 7 years old. It's not very long, but it's something. My siblings and mother have more stories than I do, but I don't think they'd be very open to telling them. I, however, have been watching you since 2016 when you were on Snarled, and I absolutely loved you there. Well, thank you. I lived in Riverside, California, inside a haunted house. This house was really old, and my grandpa had bought the plot of land it sat on when he and my grandmother immigrated from Mexico. Then shortly after, they built the house, and that's when things started to happen. I was being watched by my tia, aunt, and prima, cousin. One day, while my sister was at a sleepover, my mom was at work, and my brother was at baseball practice. My prima and I are only a few months apart because I was born in November 2006 and my prima was born in July 2007. On this specific day, my cousin and I were playing hide and seek in the house, and I chose to hide under my sister's bed. While I was hiding, laughing could be heard from my sister's closet, and my cousin was just outside the room, so she heard it too, and came into the room and went to the closet, thinking it was me. I could see her walking to it from under the bed, but I kept quiet. I had lived in this house for a while, so I was somewhat used to this type of stuff. Sadly, my cousin was not, and when my cousin opened the door to see no one, she closed it, only for the door to be slammed open, and the laughter was much louder now. Naturally, my prima started freaking out and crying, so I crawled out from underneath to comfort her. And so the closet door was one of those mirror sliding closet doors, like in the picture I provided. And I looked into the mirror, and you could see in the mirror, standing by the window, there was a very pale, almost transparent little boy who was watching my prima and I with his big smile on his face. And he just kept laughing. After that, we weren't allowed upstairs whenever my prima was over anymore. Yikes. So that one creeps me out for another reason. I have the other part of my home office. I have sliding mirror doors, and now I'm like scared to look at them. Ah! Okay. I think we got time for another short boy. Let me find a short one. Is this short? This one's called Pretty Woman. Hi, Sapphire. I love your podcast. Also, I wish to remain anonymous. Thank you. So this is a recurring nightmare I've been having a lot. It starts in the pet store by our house, and I'm there with my mom and sister. We finish shopping and go outside, and then for some reason my mom gets replaced with my grandpa or a worker at the pet store, and we wait outside for a car or a bus in the parking lot. In the dream, it's late at night, but back to the dream. As I said, we're waiting in the parking lot for a bus or car. I don't know which one, but it's one of them. The worker, or my grandpa, says, "Oh, there's a pretty woman again," or "There's a pretty woman." I turn my head, and a tall, beautiful black woman wearing tall red heels, a blue button-up shirt, and a knee-length red skirt approach us. My grandpa, or the worker, grabbed me and my sister and pulls us back to her left. Sometimes we don't go back fast enough and she grabs me, and I see she looks like she's a mannequin smiling and crazed. My grandpa, or the worker, jump up 15 feet and she lets go of me. We fall and I wake up before we hit the ground. When we get back fast enough, she passes by and is about 3 inches from my face. And again, she looks like a mannequin smiling and crazed. Then the song Pretty Woman plays, but only the words "Pretty Woman" play, but it sounds off. I don't know what, but it's just off. After the words Pretty Woman, I wake up and I keep having this dream over and over almost every day. That's weird. The first thing that comes to my mind is La Diablesse, and I have no idea if I said that right. It's like La, and then Diablesse, Diablesse. I think it's like a woman who wears heels and has like a big hat and looks like really fancy, but I forget like what her deal is, like what she does. I'm gonna look that up, or someone look that up. Cool. Well, I hope that dream doesn't mean anything, because that's weird. Have you watched the movie Pretty Woman recently? Do you watch it every day? All right, y'all. It is the end of our stream, and you know what that means. It's time to pick a card. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, so cute. Okay. All my animal cards. All right. I'm going to shuffle. Eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, Courage. Didn't we get courage last time? We're really being asked to be courageous. All right, I'm gonna read that for you guys. This card represents bravery. The lion has long been held as a symbol of courage and valor, from Christian mythology to the inversion of the trope in The Wizard of Oz. From ancient Mesopotamia to Iran, Greek mythology to Arthurian legend, the lion has signaled honor and virtue. It is often associated with monarchy and leadership. Many monarchs known for their courage have taken the name of the lion, while the lion in heraldry symbolizes that same trait. The appearance of this card in your readings encourages nerve, valor, and heroism. Often the lion as a symbol has been instilled with themes of noble pursuits and honorable behavior. This card urges you to take the high road. When faced with temptations of vengeance, anger, or the easy way through a situation, taking the high road can often be the most courageous and difficult step. It is a message to not let oppressors get you down or situations overwhelm you. This card may also represent those born under the Western zodiac sign of Leo. You're right, Adam. We did. You made that reference. Okay. You know what? We're going to pull another one. I don't know who really needed to hear that, though. Maybe it's me. Okay. Five. 1, 2, 3. If it's lying again, I swear to God. Oh. What is that? Patience. Okay. And it's a crocodile. Crocodiles. I have a bunch of crocodile, like, scales on my arm. All right, let me read crocodile. Is it crocodile or alligator? I never know the difference. There we go. This card represents patience and consideration. Crocodiles are ambush predators, and their strategy involves waiting and educated prediction. They observe the habits of their prey, monitor watering holes, and strike only when ready. This card is a symbol of careful judgment and deliberation. It urges caution, warns against impulsive decisions, and advises you to weigh your options. The presence of the crocodile in your reading might also indicate that there's no easy answer to your question, or that whatever you are deliberating will be a complex decision. Associated with water serpents and sea monsters, the mythological crocodile has a fearful reputation. Crocodiles have been revered by many cultures the world over, from the ancient Egyptian god Sobek to the crocodile guardian of the Goan people of Aldushem. Their prehistoric appearance and slow predatory style, leading to explosive and devastating attacks, make them similar to the shark in many ways. In Indonesia, a popular myth sees the shark and crocodile battle each other, with the shark taking control of the water and crocodile the land. Read alongside the shark card, read alongside, the crocodile may be seen as the earth equivalent to the shark's watery, intangible fear. The crocodile is a more definite and corporeal problem that can be solved rather than one of the mind. Cool. I like that one. Crocodiles also represent our ancestors in Filipino belief. Prehistoric Filipino belief. All right, y'all. That has been our live stream. Go be like the patient crocodile. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week.